right? We got some great things to talk about. I'm burning my damn lip. Made me some spaghetti, right? Burned my damn lip, right? I'll be alright. Anyways, right? We got something great to talk about though. Yeah. How can I say this in simple terms? You ever felt like, like something feels off? You know what I'm saying? What up, bro? How you doing? How you doing? Right? Um, Something. I know I'm not tripping, and I know my eyes not lying to me. Something is going on, and it's not really hard to explain. I feel like when you unaware of something, and then you become aware of something, of course you're going to speak about it in a different way. Because when you unaware of something, you just like, your attention really not on it. You know what I'm saying? When your attention is on something, that's when you start picking up, information and data. That way your mind can be informed what things are, right? So I'm sitting here, and this was just before I got off of live earlier, previously, right? I'm sitting here and I said, you know what? I need to go, where I need to go with? I need to go to the store, right? And for some reason, it's like when I walk outside, I get this, I get this repeatedly. I never ignore it, but I get this message every time, like when I walk outside, like the world ain't what it is, and these people that surround you, they know exactly who you are. They just try to play, right? Like they don't know who you are. But this is the thing, right? And I'm not saying, I'm gonna just speak about this. And then we're gonna get to a video, and then we're gonna get into the main course, right? Okay. So, because the video break down everything that I'm experiencing right now. Okay. That way it can give you a clear view of what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So, I walked outside, and when I walked outside, it was this dude, black dude, and he head nodded me, right? And he was walking with his dog. I didn't, for some reason, I didn't acknowledge him back. And it's a reason why I did that. So what I did was I went across the street. And when I went across the street, just before I hit the other side of the street, I can see from my peripheral, he got his eyes on me the whole time. So I'm like, if your intentions, think about this. If your intentions is that you're walking your dog, that's your whole purpose of what you're doing, right? As soon as I come out the house, me and you don't have a relationship or a bond with each other. We don't. So as soon as I come out the house, it's like the person stopped doing whatever they was doing in their reality, and their whole purpose was to basically focus on me. This situation was so funny that the individual, like whatever that they was originally doing, walking a dog, as soon as I came outside, it's like the dude stopped walking his dog and kept his attention on me the whole time. And then I'm across the street and he's still trying to acknowledge me like this. And I'm like, why is he repeatedly doing that, right? If I'm not doing anything back, I'm paying attention to the behavior. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't feel like this is a real, like a real experience with this being. Let me show you why. I'm a Floridian, right? And usually if we acknowledge you with the head and you don't say nothing back, bro, we gonna keep it moving, bro. That's just real shit. We not gonna sit here and keep looking at you. Then let me add this onto it. when I walked across the street, I'm just sitting from afar just watching him, right? He started to walk up, right, and stopped and just had his attention on me. So I'm like, usually when you got your attention on people, right, and then they put their attention back, just pay attention to how it play out, right? He goes, this is how funny this is. He goes and try to cross the street. I crossed the street on the other side, right? When he crossed the street, he does the same thing. I'm like, I don't feel like this is natural behavior, bro. Like, why is he, what I'm saying is this, why is he repeatedly doing that if you're not acknowledging him at all? That's what I'm saying. I just don't feel like this is a real being, bruh. And I've been seeing certain things. But we're going to get to this video real quick, right? We're going to get to this video so this can kind of give you a rough draft of what, you know, some of us have experiencing. Everybody is not going to have the same experience based on simply, you know, what you're really searching for in life. Some people say we are in the same experience, but we're not. Consciously, we're not in the same experience. We're not. You got to understand, like, you have higher conscious, lower conscious. Let me show you. At least for me, I know low and high. That's what keep me balanced. But for others, they just know low. So how are we in the same worlds? The difference with my conscious, I'm saying, I want to get to know the knowledge of low and high. Thank you. You understand? Other people in the world, their decision just stays strictly just low. We're not in the same worlds. Because what happens is if I look at something and tell you from my dimension is this, you're going to tell me, well, from my dimension is this. But understand, the dimension I'm speaking into is a balanced dimension. I understand both sides. It's like understanding both sides of the coin. Bad, good, evil, whatever you want to call it. But you understand both sides of the coins. For one to choose only one side of the coin, you only know that one side of the coin. That is not even completely true because what you know is not completely balanced. You don't know light side and the darkness. You want to just choose just one side. And so what happens is your mind is only holding the information and data to be one-sided towards itself. Because in the simple fact, if you knew both sides, then you would understand like, okay, I see why things move like this, and I see why things move like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Not saying that you had to choose light or darkness, because what you have to understand is light and darkness come with forms of information and data. Let me show you something. Let's just say you say something like, I would prefer to get to know what darkness is. That way, if someone using it upon me, I know how to move with my light. Do you understand what I'm saying? See, some people don't look at it like that. They look at it like, I don't want to get to know darkness because it's bad. And it's like, well, you came from darkness. Yes, look at your mother's womb. Straight darkness. So darkness is not what you think it is, because there's many forms of darkness. And what I mean by that, as in you have a form of darkness that actually came into light. Life came out of it. Do you understand that? Okay, now let's get into something real quick. Let that play out. Anyways, let me get to this. Hold on. Let's get to this.
She popped up on the algorithm and the video is titled, "They Not Like Us, They Can't Be Human."
Was a cloak. It was easier to hide these beings when they were still feeding off of our energy in our asleep state. It was easier to hide them, easier to make them blend in. But now they can't blend in. And I feel like it's a whole lot more of them than what we actually realize, y'all.
If y'all see what we see, it's getting the veils is gone. It's real out here. Let's just get straight into it, okay? Because we gotta spread some awareness around here. It's a lot of us who are seeing the veil lift right before our eyes, and nobody to talk about it. But this that space, and I'm gonna share with you what comes up in my face. Okay, come on.
What's going on, Chosen? I have to come on and have a conversation with you all, okay? We need to talk. I am really taking note of a lot of people. I've always been a people observer, but of course, now that my spiritual eyes are open, I'm not just seeing these people through my natural eyes. And it's becoming more and more apparent that a lot of the people that's walking the face of this earth, they're not human. They're not human. Now, I know that you all have heard the term mankind, right? There's a reason why that term surfaced. Mankind is kind of like a man, not quite, right? So today, well, this is not just today, but today is actually what caused me to create this particular message. I went to a grocery store. Now, in the area that I'm currently living in, because you all know I've been out here for a year now, it's just something very different. In certain regions, you go into the store. So today I went into the grocery store and I was looking around, just to get the things that I needed, but I noticed a lot of people were staring at me, right? Some of them was blankly staring, others were just like, almost as if I did not belong there. Now, mind you, in this particular area, at that particular grocery store, okay, at that particular grocery store, you don't see a lot of people that look like me as a melanated woman. But then on top of that, yes, I do know that I adorn myself in a particular way that makes me stand out. So I'm not surprised at that. But it's a different type of feel is what I'm picking up when it comes to the looks. It's almost like, why are you amongst us? But they're not, first of all, y'all know I worked in healthcare for a significant period of time. And I did do a lot of psych when I worked as a registered nurse. I also did psych nursing, and I noticed that there were certain traits that, some of the patients would carry. One thing that I did notice is that if a person does not swing their arms when they walk, something wrong, okay? I'm gonna just put y'all on. If a person does not swing their arms when they walk, something is wrong. Now, I'm noticing just the posture of a lot of these people in this grocery store. Their mannerisms, and at one particular point, I was just kind of going through my items in my cart as I waited in line, and you could feel somebody looking at you, so I happened to look up, and it was this man, European man. He had his overalls on, right? And he was and so when I looked up, he quickly looked away. The weirdest thing, right? And he was also amongst the rest, where I'm just looking like, what am I surrounded by? Even the people that work, not all the people that work there, okay? I did meet one nice lady that actually, many of the people that work there, something is off. And I'm gonna tell y'all what I am speculating here, right? This is what my spiritual team has told me. I would love to hear your feedback out there and if you are noticing the same thing. So as we all know, this current system, the current structure is dying. The beast of Babylon is dying, okay? Why? Because many of the chosen seed, we've withdrawn our energy, okay? I told you all a long time ago, I was given a visual of a beast and a whole bunch of cords. And those cords were spiritual cords attached to a lot of people who have souls, right? The chosen seed. And that cord was actually like an umbilical cord to this beast that was feeding the beast. Like it was siphoning the energy, siphoning our energy. Especially as long as we stayed in low vibrational energy, that cord would remain. But the moment that we woke up and made a conscious decision to release a lot of unhealthy patterns, unhealthy relationships, unhealthy thoughts and traumas and things of that nature, that cord breaks, especially when you're doing generational curse breaking. That cord can no longer remain. And so the very source that the beast of Babylon fed on is practically non-existent, because many of the chosen have awakened and see the importance of cutting these cords to the beast of Babylon, right? So with that being said, a lot of the energy that beast was siphoning, I hope that I wasn't covering the mic, y'all. A lot of the energy that beast was siphoning was being distributed to the NPCs, the zombies, the ones that would be considered mankind.
You're right.
Whatever these beings are, a lot of that divine energy that would make you human was actually being siphoned and redistributed to the beings that are not human. So
you know how you go outside, right? You come around certain people, you feel drained. That's what be going on.
And now that beast is no longer feeding on the majority of the chosen, because there's still some chosen seed that's wiping the crust out of their eyes, okay? There's still some chosen seed that's very much so resistant to the truths that's being revealed to
Mm-hmm.
them, right? Because there's fear of being judged, there's fear of having to take the narrow pathway. There's a lot of sacrifice that comes with taking a narrow pathway. Many people just ain't ready for it. But there are a whole lot of chosen seed, enough chosen seed that have withdrawn from the beast of Babylon to the point where it is dying. That spark, that soul, that divine energy, that generating energy that we have because of our connection to the Most High Mother and Father is no longer being fed to the beast. So when it was siphoning our energy, when it had access and surplus, not only did it take what it wanted to get fully fed and full, it was then that energy was also being distributed to the beings that are not human. Now, I don't know what you want to call them. I don't know what you want to call these things, but something is like the more that I awaken, the more that my spiritual eyes open, the more that it's obvious. Now, back in the day, when I was still asleep and didn't understand things from a spiritual perspective,
Mm-hmm.
I might have said, okay, mentally something might be off with that person, or something just ain't right.
Okay.
You don't, when you're asleep, you just say, okay, well, they're just different. Oh, hell no. Now that I am awakened, oh no, this thing is spiritual. These are beings that do not have a soul. You can tell by the mannerisms, by the posture, the body posture, I'm even seeing a far more common theme of people that look completely lifeless. No life in them. It's almost like a dried grape. You see what I'm saying? You all know that raisins are grapes, right? At least that's what I was told. Raisins are dried up grapes. It's like in comparison to a grape that is plump, is full of life, it's vibrant, to this dried up. It's just, you can look at them and tell that there is not a soul present, okay? And so if you find that when you go out to particular regions or you're going to find them everywhere that you go, but there's certain areas where they tend to congregate. Right? That particular grocery store is where I see them often. Okay? That particular grocery store. And I've heard a lot of people say things like it was a conversation that was circulating in regards to the Walmarts. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, okay, who are these beings that's walking around in the Walmarts? That's how I feel about this particular grocery store.
Anybody else just feels so drained, so tired when they go into Walmarts. Like, it feels like their energy is just being siphoned.
Something is not right. And what was interesting is that I actually, as I was shopping, out of nowhere, a lady was like, she just walked up to me fast. She works there. She was like, excuse me. She complimented me, on my appearance, but she was like, it's just something about your energy. I can tell that you are very spiritual. I can tell, and some things are just kind of a dead giveaway, right? I got my earrings on. You see what I'm saying? I got my third eye piece here, crystals. You know what I'm saying? It's some things are obvious, but she also mentioned that she just doesn't see people who have a particular aura very often, right? Which I'm not seeing in that particular grocery store. Something ain't right. Something is not right.
You know what it is? What that lady told her in the grocery store. I usually don't see people with an aura. You know what aura mean? I don't usually see people with a soul.
I feel like now that the beast of Babylon no longer has your energy to distribute to the masses, especially, it's almost like it was a cloak. You see what I'm saying? It was easier to hide these things when they were still feeding off of our energy in our asleep state. It was easier to hide them, easier to make them blend in. But now, they can't blend in.
Sensitive teeth are large.
You know what I'm saying? Right here on this end. Now let me swap out because the night owls, they must not be in the building. So I'm gonna transfer this to Florida real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna transfer this to Florida real quick. The New York beings, they must be out cold. Now I'm just checking into the algorithm real quick. They must be out cold. I'm gonna transfer this to Florida real quick. Give me 1 second.
It's too obvious. They cannot blend in, okay? And I feel like it's a whole lot more of them than what we actually realize.
Right.
What I'm
Watch
really
this.
starting to feel like
Watch
is
this.
that there's actually more of them than there are humans. There's more mankind than there are human beings.
Watch this.
Which means that they come in every shape, size, and color.
Thank you.
Whatever.
Thank you.
Is. And it kind of makes you wonder, why so many? You see what I'm saying? What are they, space fillers?
No.
Are they distractions?
No,
Are
we
they,
seen it. We know what they is.
Right? Because the more of them, the more easily they can be controlled, right? They can be used as pawns to do the bidding of the powers that were. I feel like they made them in droves, like large numbers of them have been created. I don't know if this damn factory babies.
They been doing
Hold on, stop.
Oh, they been doing
Slow down.
This is the little they.
Did you hear what the lady on the right just said? She said, I don't know if they factory babies. I'm gonna say this, bro. I'm gonna be real with you. When you do your Google research, always Google this right here. Google industrialized cities. Bro, when you listen to me, bro, I come from the state of Florida, bro, right? I'm up here visiting Rochester, New York. Bro, when I say everything's industrialized, when I say that the people ain't got no soul here, bro, when I say that the people here lost, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, it might sound brazy, but for some reason, I get this message in my mind from time to time, like, all these people that's around me is factory people. Like, they was built in a factory. Like the people around me is pretty much like robots. And the thing about it is, when I started to become aware of that, certain information and data started coming to me. So like, if you go Google, I'm gonna say this. If you go Google the Pentagon, right? You know what the Pentagon building look like, right? That same building and the logo of that building is the same logo of Rochester, New York. Every city got a logo that advertised their city. But if you pay attention to the Pentagon real well in great detail, you will understand that the Pentagon looks very identical to a machine, like a robot. So as I'm, doing my journey here in this Rochester, New York, pretty much what I'm aware of is that I'm around machines. And the reason why I know that is because every time I appear somewhere, I always get this presence of, why are you here? What are you doing? I'm trying to tell you, like, sometimes people even say it to me. They be like, what are you doing? Why are you here? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I'll tell them, like, yeah, I'm from a solar state. And you got to understand, you got solar states and machine states. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when I tell someone, I purposely do it just to see how the person gonna move. I'll purposely tell them, like, yeah, I'm from Florida. And they'll be like, what you doing here? Isn't that the same thing they said to Neo? What are you doing here? Remember when he was in train station? And remember when he met up with the Arab people right there with the little girl? And remember the part where the Arab dude had a wife? And remember how the wife said to Neo, what are you doing here? Remember, he told, the Arab dude told Neo, like, pretty much like, they programs. They don't have souls, though. It's like a machine world, right? But it don't want souls to be in there, because what happens is, when you have a soul and someone is a machine, you can see the difference. You can see the difference in movement, speaking, talking, the projections of consciousness. You can see the difference. And so when this lady right here said factory babies, or she gonna get into a little bit more deeper, certain babies just built like factory babies. Like listen to it. Like the first Matrix, bro. Remember where the robots had the people bodies, right? Think about this shit. Remember they had the bodies inside these little like devices. Now think about it. The people was sleep. Their conscious was sleep, right? Just because your body laying down, it don't mean that your consciousness is not doing things. They wasn't in those avatars. The people body was laying completely down, and who had control over their bodies? Who had control over their minds? Who had control over their consciousness? Who? The machines. So we may look at it like, oh, we get up. Nah. Them people still had consciousness. And they still was using their consciousness, but it wasn't allowed them to use the body that Neo got access to. Remember when Neo broke out of the simulation, he got access to his real body? Then when he came over there towards Morpheus, what Morpheus said to him? Welcome to the real world. So the world that Neo was in was not the real world. That was just his conscious going through a simulation, right? And he thought this was the real world. See? Let's get into the tag. God damn, bro. You just did just did that.
Releasing the prototypes of what they've been doing. Oh, God. Look. It's already been known that the military and the government is like 70 years ahead of what they're actually giving us. The stuff that they're selling us and the things that they're telling us, they're 70 years ahead. They're keeping us in selective programming and slowly feeding us the information. Come on, Shaki. Come on, talk about it because this is some real stuff, bro. This right here is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly what we're seeing right now with the veil being lifted.
I don't know what the hell you want to call them. I don't know what you want to call them. I do recall seeing a clip, and I'm gonna go back and look that up. There was something concerning the Cabbage Patch dolls. Y'all remember the Cabbage Patch dolls back in the day?
Listen.
Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that. Okay, so yes, as I was saying, even with the Cabbage Patch dolls, it was a lot of speculations in terms of incubator babies, children that was actually being raised up like Planet S.
Listen to me, y'all. Listen. You heard what she just said? Inker beta babies. This is really true. You can go find major artifacts. It's on YouTube. If you go look up Inker beta babies, bro, these is babies that's pretty much, they basically like factory babies. They're not real babies. They appear like they real babies, like a Barbie doll. And you would think it's a real individual, but all these individuals was built out of a factory, bro. All of them. And the thing was this, bro. They used to have people to come and watch and look, do research. And listen to me, bro. This was something that was general publicized, not something that was hidden in the laboratory. No. People could literally go up there and look at the babies and all that shit, bro. So if this took place, right, in the dawn of time of where, let's say this happened before we born, and then let's say it was still happening while we was being born, and then our upbringing, how you truly know what's around you if you was raised within it? You ain't gonna know. You was raised within it, so how you gonna know? See what I'm saying? So pretty much, as a baby, right? They pretty much blind you to the whole world any damn way. You born in blindness. Shit brazy, bro. Let me get to this. Let me get to the rest of the video so we can get these downloads off of this one right here.
And grown in fields like crops, okay, all types of things that people have speculated. But there was even a time where there was a man, from what I understand, named Martin County or something like that, who was actually had like in the middle of I don't know if it was a circus or more like a carnival, but people would come and watch babies that was inside of incubators. And he claimed that he was saving these premature babies.
See?
And it would be tons of them. And apparently there was no birth certificates, nothing like that, to verify who the child was, who the parent was, like where was these babies coming from. I say that to say, these beings have been mad scientists for a long time, right? Constantly trying to play the role of the Most High Mother and Father, to create these beings that are mankind but not human. Mankind but not human.
I'm gonna stop right here, only because I want to tell my vision and what I had saw that just
Mm-hmm.
made me react to this video anyways. And I also wanted y'all to just go watch the full video on her channel, because we got to give her some support. I'm just introducing you to the real ones. You know, you feel me? Like the realness, okay? What I'm really seeing. Okay. Anyway, in the video, she basically was like, let me know if y'all, you know, seeing anything like this. I've met reptilians, shapeshifters, different beings, people, like they, especially in the malls, like I feel like that's their training centers, like where they actually learn how to interact with humans. Because people in the malls and sometimes in these movie theaters, they don't seem real. They don't seem human.
Nope.
I had a video go viral on TikTok. It had like 3.9 million views, and I was talking about my reptilian encounter when I was at the mall. But anyway, what I have to say about that video is I was talking to my mom the other about this very thing, because we was talking about bloodlines and generational curses, and I was like, Mom, I'm seeing something. She was like, what are you seeing? And I said, I'm seeing a man who has a breathing mask on, and the breathing mask is connected to tubes that is connected with everybody in the bloodline, and the tubes are being cut, like we're cutting the tubes within in the bloodline, and it's causing him to not be able to breathe. And I'm like, this is an entity that's been attached to the blood. It's like assigned to the bloodline. It's like the egregore, the entity assigned to the bloodline. I'm like, what if this? When I'm talking to my mom, I'm like, what if this is going on within other families? Like these different entities that are assigned to the blood, to the bloodline, to keep in the frequency a specific way. And the more he's able to breathe, the stronger he gets in his ability to interfere with other people coming in and trying to help them. You know, like everybody comes here and everybody got their spirit team that come here, and you know, people that they have contracts with to kind of help them break the curses, you know, break the chains that has been in the blood and been in the been in the DNA, been in the veil of it all. I was explaining to her, I'm like, the stronger he gets, the more he gets to engage and interfere with other people coming in to kind of like make things worser. If you know what the law of attraction is, basically you attract more of what you are, right? So if there's this curse within the bloodline, you're gonna attract more people who are activated by that curse and who can really circulate that curse energy and allow the entity to continue to keep breathing. But what I was seeing was, it was like this entity just breathing in the mask and just kind of placing like a cloud over the bloodline and a cloud over the family and stuff like that. And I'm just like, dang. And the cloud is like, it's like causing more like cousins to the entity, like the entities that work in different bloodlines, to come in and fight with, not fight with each other, but feed each other. You know, like it's just like every time he takes a breath in, he breathes out, and he adds more to like the barrier that is around the suppression of the bloodline. And then it's like a magnet. It's a magnet to other entities. And these entities come in and they do different deals between each other as to what they're going to feed each other, and how they're going to cause havoc and chaos and problems within their assigned person or the assigned bloodline. So like, it's the fact that she was talking about this beast not being fed anymore, and the cords are cut. And I'm like, I said the same thing. Like the cords that is able to allow this beast to breathe, or this entity to breathe, it's like he can't breathe anymore. It's like he's slowly losing his ability to his oxygen. Like he can't. We're the oxygen. We're the ones that's feeding it. I just wanted to share that, and that's what I'm going to say in reaction to this video. And if you want to watch the rest of it, we did stop at 13:38, and I want you.
All right, I'm about to get my upload in real quick. This about to get deep. This shit about to get deep as a motherfucker, because I know what's happening. All right, come back to light real quick, baby. So, based on what sis said, right, I gave you that upload. That way, this walk in the park for you right here on this live will be a little bit more simpler, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the knowledge, right? But then I'm going to take you through major artifacts that you have already been through already, okay? Now, remember what the lady said, right? Listen, I'm out to transfer my location to Florida. No, hold on, stay here for a second. Stay here? Just stay here. I'm about to transfer it to Florida in just a second, though. Yeah. Remember what the lady just said? She said that pretty much when she was inside the grocery store, she felt this energy, not based on what she's seeing. She's not just using sight, okay? She can tap into energy and understand these people not real. The reason why that is because of this. Usually whenever you on the same energy frequency, right, you can feel each other energy. You can understand it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you having an aura, right? Usually aura comes down towards what? Soul, right? If you can come inside, if you can see someone or view them visually and you can see the aura around them, then you understand like that must be a soul. It's just as much as when you see someone and you notice that they're dressed not with a suit, but they're dressed very unique where you like, yo, that's out of the ordinary. Do you see what I'm saying? The ordinary is the algorithm of what everybody else is wearing, which is pretty much the same thing. But then when you view someone else, you see them, you like, they look like they totally out of the program. They got on different attire and everything. They all match up and everything. It looks very nice, very unique, very creative. You understand? So in this exchange right here, been kind of sitting on this knowledge for a minute. I be having ton of knowledge, don't I? I be having tons of knowledge, but pretty much take you through a little rough draft so you can understand what I'm talking about. In this world, we would say, this feels like a stimulation. The world don't feel real. I agree with you. Furthermore, right? We have watched, you see the comment at the bottom? NPC, right here. I'm gonna show you that it's NPC. Watch. Right here. Remember the Matrix? Remember the first one right here? Remember when Neo made a decision? What was that decision? Either remain as the blue pill mind and remain in the blue code spell. What is that? What you call that? Blue code lockdown setups. Can I ask you a question? If you're in a blue code lockdown, right? That means you don't have access to what? Your bodies. Remember the machines and the robots? Remember all the bodies that you've seen inside of those red and darkness chambers? You know how you say, I'm in a stimulation. Remember, if you choose blue pill, guess where your body go back at? Guess where your conscious go back at? Blue code lockdown. They even talk about the blue code lockdown in front of you. You just did not put the pieces together. You take the pill. The pill is blue. Comes with information and data to lock down what? Lock your conscious down. Lock your soul away from your original body. Notice that when Neo woke up, he woke up out of the simulation that everyone else is into, like another digital world, but it only consists of your conscious. You thought you were in the avatar. No, your consciousness is in the avatar. You got a whole nother body somewhere else. And that body's laying down, right? And the only thing you did was transfer your conscious into this digital server. What you have to understand is that the worlds that we visit, it don't matter what world you're in. They're all digital, okay? Once you understand that with yourself, right, now you start to understand like, hold on. So you're telling me we're just all here consciously. We're just here consciously. We're looking at it like, no, I'm actually here. No, your conscious is here. Imagine someone shoot you, not projecting it upon you, right? And then your mind in this world has been programmed to think you are going through death, right? And then your conscious transfer to a whole nother avatar, and then you wake up in that avatar and you like, Yo, bro, such and such happened over here, such. But you don't know that though. Because remember, Neo had to go through a process, right? Where he was in the corporate world, right? But Neo personally was trying to reach enlightenment. Remember, he had another side to him. He had the corporate side that he was working for, and he had another side of people that he was working with where they was pretty much sharing different disses, certain information and data that he would possibly get in trouble to. Different programs in order to bypass other programs within this digital world. So Neo knew about enlightenment. He just didn't know what he knew now. You know what I'm saying? So what happens in a situation, this is all correlation with each other. What happens in a situation is this. Self knows that something is going on in this world, knows that this is not a real world. So Neo decides to, you know what? I'm going to follow that. Remember, Neo had two characters with him, two different lifestyles. Who is that? Mr. Anderson? And then you got Neo. Let me show you the fight of self right here so you can always understand. Before you look at the outer world, look at the inner world. If Mr. Anderson is into what? The corporate world. Thank you. Neo is into what world? The conscious world. Consciously, he's like, I know it's something more. Who is he looking for? Morpheus. See? Now, who's Morpheus? Morpheus, Morpheus is someone, I would say, that is a soul. Someone consciously that can help you be liberated from this slave-minded digital world, okay? Now, Neo went to go find Morpheus. Neo didn't know that Morpheus was actually looking for him too. See? Now, let me ask you a question. How is it that the technology of the minds are aligned within a search? Neo is looking for Morpheus and Morpheus is looking for Neo. Did you peep that out? Listen to me. Before they even appeared in reality, Neo was already looking for Morpheus. He just couldn't find his avatar, his consciousness. So where is he at? I know he's somewhere around here, right? But then when Morpheus came to him, remember, Morpheus wasn't in the world that what Neo was in. Morpheus knew about the world. He knew how to access it consciously, but he wasn't stuck in that world with Neo. Setups. Because remember, Morpheus' avatar, right? Morpheus' avatar, what he does is he gets inside of a what? A conscious transfer device. Setups. He sits down with his body, and then at that, when he sits down, he transfers his consciousness to a whole nother digital world. But remember, Morpheus is liberated because he could transfer his conscious back to his original avatar and get up with his body. Remember, the people that are inside of those machines that you see that are in red and darkness, they cannot do that. And their conscious is being used by the machines. Do you see what I'm talking about? So when you say blue code lockdown, this is what everybody on. Yeah, this is in front of you. Okay, so let's really keep on dissecting this a little bit more. Let's keep on dissecting this a little bit more. Let's get into this. This is getting great, isn't it? It's getting great, right? So let me get to my part. So now, right, you got Morpheus and Neo. This is the part where they searching for each other, right? But remember what I said. Both of the minds are aligned. If the minds wasn't aligned, right, y'all ain't gonna meet each other. You know why? Because one mind can be searching for one mind, but if the other mind is not searching for the other mind, it's not going to probably align. Because it's just like this. Let's say I'm searching for someone, right? And let's say they're not in a search for me. By the time I meet up with them, they probably going to be looking at me like, what's going on? It's a different experience when both consciences are actually searching for each other. That way, when they come into reality, guess what happens? Connection. Thank you. Now let's get into the data points, right? Now, remember, I'm going to take this slow. I don't want to go too fast with this shit, all right? Remember when he met up with Morpheus, right? Remember the avatar that he was in was the avatar of that world. Remember that. Now, remember when he sat down with Morpheus, right? They had a nice little conversation. The conversation was very simple. You know that this world is fake, right? And you want to know what's the truth, right? Setups. So what happens is he make a conscious decision, right? Up here. And the conscious decision is, do you want to go back to blue code lockdown? Or do you want to come to open mind world, red side? What you want? Solar side? What you want? Setups. We're going to break down the soul too. Watch. Slow it down. When Neo was within this stimulating world, did he have, before he took the pill, did he have access to his soul? Setups. Remember Mr. Anderson, right? And then you have Neo. Okay? What I'm saying is, did Neo have access to his soul, right? When he was in that stimulating world. Remember, blue coat lockdown. You ain't got access yet. You ain't got access. Let me show you how you didn't. Let me show you how they don't have access. Remember the machines, right? They were bodies. But remember, the people that you seen walking around in that digital world with Neo, those are the consciousness that are stuck in that digital world. Thank you. You thinking the world that Neo was in, oh no, those are people and shit. No, those are consciousnesses. The bodies, right, are over there where the machines is at. But remember, they had these things in the back of their head. Do you remember that? Okay, they had them things in the back of their head. Remember when you go over there towards Morpheus, and they had the same thing. But the ones that's inside those little chambers, which is, the red and the little black that they in, they had them things in the back of their head. They had these things going inside their nose and everything. They was asleep towards the machine. The machine was using their consciousness, see? And a lot of people didn't even pick up on that shit. A lot of people kind of bypassed it. They kind of looked at it like, hold on. Nah, you got all these people. No. You got to put the pieces together. When Neo took the red pill, right? When he took the red pill, what avatar did he wake up in, bro? He did not wake up from he did not wake up in the avatar that was in that digital world. He woke up in his original avatar that the machines were trying to control his consciousness within his stimulating world. And a lot of people didn't understand that. It showed you both sides. But what happened was, consciously, we were all thinking this is one world playing together. No, it's not. The people that are inside of those machines, right, their bodies are locked down. Their consciousness is locked down where they cannot access the original avatar, okay? These bodies are asleep, which means that the consciousness has been transferred to another digital world, right? And being that it's transferred to that digital world, guess what happens? You're stimulated within what? A program. It's not real. And they showed, bro, they showed everybody this in the first Matrix, bro. They literally show you like, they talking about us. They showing you like, yo, listen, you know how you say this world don't feel real, this is that and the third and such and such, such and such. Like, yeah, baby, well, go look. Matrix number 1 shows you like, now we in a stimulation. Look at the bodies. The bodies locked down right here. Look at the consciousness. They're being transferred in this digital world. Now, when you take red pill, guess what happens? You don't wake up in that digital vessel within that digital world no more. You wake up, right? When Neo woke up, where did he wake up at? Where the machines was taking control of consciousness. Thank you. When you wake up, the machines can't be in control of your consciousness because they understand the laws of the soul. Yeah, once the laws of the soul is, once the soul reach enough consciousness, technically, I'm not even going to say soul because soul already know everything. It's really the technology of the mind. Thank you. Once it reached to a certain level, it has the opportunity to break, right, from another conscious world that it was in. The robots had to respect that. Notice that the robots, when he awake in his original avatar, they couldn't kill him. You noticed that, right? They can only fight him when he go inside they so-called digital world. Do you notice that? Think about it. The machines had him around his neck like this. They could have killed Neo right then and there. But listen, the machines knew we can't do this to him in this world. He woke up in the real world. We can't do it. They had him by his neck, bro. They could have just exiled his ass right then and there. Neo wasn't even strong enough. He was just waking up in his avatar. You know what I mean? He wasn't. You know what I'm saying? But in that, when I seen that the machines couldn't kill him right then and there, I knew like there's got to be some type of laws. When you awake, it's got to be some type of laws that the machines had to actually obey. Setups. Okay? Because they could have just knocked them off right then and there, but they chose not to. So it has to be some type of laws within these digital worlds that they have to respect when it comes to our souls. Okay? So then, let's go into it a little bit more further. I don't want to go too fast, you know what I'm saying? So then, what happens is, Neo make his conscious transfer back to his original avatar, okay? When he wakes up, he does not wake up in the same avatar as all the other programs and machines. Thank you. You understand? He wakes up in his original vessel. Now, if you realize, right, being that he woke up in his original vessel, right, guess what happens? He get access to many worlds. He's not being controlling these worlds, but he can project his consciousness into that world, go into the world, do what he want to do, and then back out the whole world. If you ask me, that's a liberation. You are fucking free. Thank you. You know why I say you're free? Neo don't have to pay no motherfucking bills, bro. Neo don't have to work a job. Bro can literally pop through with a whole team, bro. Go in there consciously, whoop shit out, and then back out the whole game? I need that ability right there. No, I need that shit. That's God. You can't tell me that's not God. You use their own conscious, transfer to a whole nother digital world with a whole nother digital avatar. Get weaponry and everything. And then come in the world, step down on shit, and then back out? Bro, that's God, bro. You can't define that as not, that's God. It's completely liberated consciously. I need that world right. Let me get that red pill right there. Give me about 5 of them motherfuckers. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, what I wanted to also say is that, come here. You're going to see, let's pay attention. You're going to see comments from time to time where the machines are coming over here, right? And it's exposing the game. You see the comments right there? Whenever you're speaking outside the algorithm of the machines will project different things upon your avatar, right? That you don't see that I'm doing in front of you, okay? So what you have to understand is the algorithm of machines. The algorithm machines is machinality, pretty much. If you speak about anything that the machine does, it's okay, okay? I just want machines to know this. Machines don't run this world. We give you a perception that you run the world so we can see exactly what you're doing. If your conscience is comfortable with a lie that you run the world, then pretty much we can watch everything that you all are doing. Okay? Machines don't run the world at all because there's a natural solar source that can destroy a machine along with its consciousness. Okay? So, what I would say to the machines and the projections from the moon, you have a bigger problem than just looking at this avatar and this consciousness. You have a bigger problem where there's something big that's coming here to destroy the machinality and the systems that you all have built. Focus on that problem. Don't project false problems, okay? Have a nice one. Moving along here, right? I had to talk to the moon sometime, okay? All right. So, right? Let me get back into what I was talking about. He took the red pill, right? Now, when he took that red pill, what avatar did he wake up in? His original avatar. Now, think, right here, consciously, right? Pay attention so you can understand both worlds. You have the machine world. Remember, you have the avatars, the bodies, right? They have machines that go behind their head too. Huh? Right? But it plugs them into a machine world where they're being controlled. Thank you. Now, Neo does the same thing. He puts the same conscious thing inside the back of his head. But in this digital device, there's a little bit difference. Right. The difference is this. They can transfer their conscious to this digital world. Now, when they transfer their conscious and they pick up the phone, right, they get the, damn, watch this. They pick up the phone. And when they pick up the phone, they transfer their conscious back to where they came from, right? Can I ask you a question? Setups. This is a reality question. So this gonna bring you something to you. Notice that when the movie came out, setups. When the movie came out, the first Matrix, I want to say the early 2000s. Correct me if I'm wrong, okay? Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Why is it that we can't find the payphones no more? Slow. I know what your mind's gonna say. The reason why we don't need payphones, slow down. The reason why we don't need payphones is because we got cell phones. That's the first thing your mind go with. That's the first thing they implanted in your mind. So how do you know that's true? You telling me they get rid of payphones from state to state? And the thing that's implanted in your mind is predictable programming. We have cell phones now. We don't need payphones. That is a lie. Because on the simple fact, right? I can go down the street right now and they have satellite payphones. You ever heard of a satellite payphone? No. Well, they have them out there. Why are they bringing back? You never heard this before, right? Depending on what state and county you are in, and if you do research, you will come to realize, like, yeah, they actually have satellite payphones. Now, they actually do have that. That is actually true. They don't have them in every city because every city don't maybe need the resources, but they do have actually satellite payphones. Okay? So the popular pick in your mind to align all your minds is that we have cell phones. We don't need payphones no more. Where, this is what I would say, those payphones have access to certain lines. It's connected to something, like a system. You notice that? No, of course not. You're stuck in your wireless device. So you wouldn't know the world that is around you, especially if you're one of those early 2000 babies that were just born in the program anyway. Us babies that's born in the 80s and 90s knows a little bit more, okay? Yeah. That was a real era, wasn't it? All right. Please, 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 people. Please, people from the moon. Please, holograms from the moon. Don't put your panties in a bunch, okay? I'm going to show you something. Notice that whenever they come to his channel, right, they talk to him like they already know him. You notice that in the comment section? Why they talk to him like they know him? If this is the first time he's been on this earth, why do they talk to him like they know him? Little holograms from the moon. Let me get into their digital world, baby. They can't stand when I come to their robotic world. The thing was, I'm one of those ones to allow you to do certain things, build up a robotic world. And the reason why that is because I destroy shit. What? Think about it, baby. If I allow you to build a robotic world, I'm allowing you to build it. Why do you think I'm doing that? So I can come back and destroy it. You think that you can have a machine world? Show me one world, right? Where machines can destroy all souls. Show me. Show me. Get into this shit, bro. Right here. What's this boy right here? Mr. Smith? Watch how I use the light body to knock their whole shit down. Watch. What's this? Mr. Smith. Can I ask you a question? Does Mr. Smith have a soul? Setups. Stop. What does Mr. Smith does? They never showed you he had a soul. What do Mr. Smith do? He sticks his hand in you. And when he sticks his hand in you, what does he do? He converts your conscious into his conscious. Setups. Which means that basically in this digital world right here, he converts everybody into an agent just like him. He takes control of your consciousness. You don't own your consciousness no more. Did they ever show that Mr. Smith had a light body? Never. Watch this. This right here that's about to get broken down, this debunked it, the whole death system right in here. Watch. Remember the part where they come inside the train station? Train. Remember, Neo was training in order to fight who? Agent Smith. There you go. Now watch this. They get to the train, right? The station, right? They get to fighting. Then they go all the way somewhere else, right? Then guess what happens? Mr. Smith catch him at the door right there, right? Watch. Mr. Smith catch him at the door. Take this slow, bro. Remember what I said. I had said that Neo, original avatar, is in another world that you would call a ship. His conscious is being transferred to a digital world, and he have access to this digital world to do many different things. Now watch this. Within this digital world, Agent Smith catch Neo at the door. He shoots him, right? When he shoots him, guess what happens? He falls down, right? Understand that the technology of the mind, right, may think this is a part of death. No, this is something that you go through. You go through death in order to be awakened. So let me ask you a question. Is it that when he shot Neo, it appeared like he shot him? Right. But when it comes towards the solar consciousness, see, this is the word that you don't know about. When it comes towards the solar consciousness and the solar variation of consciousness, does the soul believe within death? The soul is the one that can override technology. That's what you don't understand. You all don't understand soul. You don't understand that that light body that's within there picked up the digital body again, the mind and everything, registered back online, whooped out Mr. Smith, and then literally, remember when you seen Neo avatar, which, let me show you, they used the physical avatar, right? When Neo ran into Mr. Smith's body, that was the light avatar that did that. They just showed you the physical part. But anyone know if you depart from your vessel as soul, right, you can hack into many different devices that are around you. The body is technology. The mind is technology. It's all tech. Okay? When it comes towards the soul, this is natural technology, original source technology. Okay? You don't understand that when it comes towards soul, soul has a solar memory just as much as your mind has a memory. Okay? So the soul, remember, death is an illusion. Get the fuck back up, whoop his tech out, now take over his body. Souls, like Mr. Smith stick his hand into you, souls can take over bodies too. It's all technology. And when you come around, right, and you a soul, notice that the robots, why are you here? Why are you standing here? Why are you around here? They look at you like you're weird, right? Programs. Motherfuckers is not paying attention to them parts right there. Like, you're telling me that's the light body, bruh. They're using the physical body to make it seem like he's no. That's the light body that got up. Like, yeah, take the whole body, get back, whoop out his check. Notice that, right? His eyes got within a green code. What is the green code? You unlocked. Thank you. Everybody know when you start seeing that code, oh yeah, you unlocked. You got access to everything that you're supposed to have access to. This is technology. This is not the world of, oh, I'm just flesh. No. This come down to technology. Conscious transfers, conscious upgrades, conscious updates. What do you need? Okay? Come here. We can all understand that a lot of people are stuck in this stimulating world. It looks like I'm just watching something and I can't move anything. Right. NPCs, CPUs, programs. Then when you awaken, you actually get access to your original body. How many people have access to their original bodies? Still waking up. Yeah. Ain't shit, yeah. It's a program world. Want to be programmed? Notice that the NPCs get very upset when you talk about the programs. Shit is brazy. Unlock. Yeah, unlock your consciousness. Yeah, do that. As everybody think that this world is actually true and real, isn't it? Huh? Let me show you the setups. Watch. Can I ask you a question? Let's get into consciousness. Can I ask you a question? Right? Notice that, watch. Notice that everyone say that it feel like we're being stimulated by the system. Can I ask you a question? Can you install the system within you? Watch. From the third dimension, what are you doing? I'm eating food. The technology and the biology of your vessel is tech, okay? What you have to understand is that when you say the mind, right, is being stimulated, what is the mind receiving? What type of information and data is it stimulating the mind? Let's go here, right here. What's this right here? This is just food. I got you right here. It's all good. Can I ask you a question? Everything that you eat is only one word? Yeah, no problem. Can I ask you a question right here? What is this right here? Hamburgers. Hamburger. Okay. Can I ask you a question right here? If you're awake, right? You said this is a hamburger, right? Where's the ham inside of the burger? This is when you know your brain is dead. This is when you know you're asleep. You said this is a hamburger. Where's the ham inside the burger? Slow down. So the technology of your consciousness, right, has manipulated itself within a lie. The technology of your mind hold a lie. So that means that you'll be a liar to yourself. Let me go with the popular pick. Mind read shit. Right here, ground beef, right? That's the next pick? Ground beef, no problem right here. How is it ground beef if the beef never came out of the ground? I understand program language, but it's all lies towards a program. So, let's get into something else when it comes towards you eating. When in our reality and higher dimensions, you're installing information and data. Let's pay attention to the tech. Can I ask you a question? In order to vibrate, right, in a live state, when things are vibrating, nothing is standstill. Okay? Can I ask you a question? What type of information and data, right, that you can recalibrate the technology of your mind where you can't see vibration no more? You can only see things that are standstill. You said humans are standstill, right? Last time I checked, I think this person got to be very asleep. I said, I'm going to slow it down for you real quick, okay? What can you eat, right, that is standstill? Someone said humans. God damn. That's what you chopping up on? No. Look at the comment section. Someone said humans down here, okay? That's what you eating? Shit. Go eat some more of them motherfuckers. God damn. Let me get into the tech real quick. No way. Let me get into the tech right here, right? Someone had said that you're gaslighting. I guess I must be gaslighting the machines, I guess. I guess whenever I'm talking about the machines, they feel insulted. Please could you back up my live, sir? Thank you so much. I feel like the machine is taking it personally. So let me get into the machines world. Finish destroying a tech. Anyways, we are not friends. You make me into your enemy, I destroy you. Thank you. Let's get into the tech real quick. When it comes down to, right, I said when you, right, see things within vibration, right, what information and data, right, that you would eat or consume, right, in order to see things that are not in a vibration no more, right? Let's pay attention to the tech of what human beings do to themselves. Shit is funny. Anyways, what are you eating? I'm eating chicken. Pay attention to the setups. Can I ask you a question? Praise God, right? Praise God. You for God, aren't you? For God. That's what I'm talking about. Can I ask you a question right here? In order to create, right, a mind of death, what type of information and data would you install inside the mind and body? The humanoid program is saying that it's eating chicken. Bypass the third dimension. Understand that the chicken's body is standstill. Understand that the information and data of that chicken is going within a decay state. Setups. It's going within a decay state. So being that it's going within a decay state, the information and data of this chicken is already decayed. It's going within a decay state. So in order to obtain a mind of death, you need the information and data of death. Setups. What were you eating? Fried chicken with ranch dressing? But the chicken is dead. It's not clucking inside your fucking stomach. Gaslight your own fucking mind. Get the fuck up out my shit. Understand the tech? Dead artificial tech bots out here. Based on installing the information and death inside the technology of their consciousness in order to remember a life of being dead. How the fuck are you alive if you're not installing information and data in order to keep the technology of your body and mind alive? Produce produces the intelligence of mind and body. These low third dimensioners don't understand that with themselves. How you convert the technology of your own vision to look at things at standstill based on the information and data that you installed, that you eat, your body holds, and now makes vision standstill. That's not even real. See how human and humanoid programs can actually trick the technology of their own minds and become so ignorant towards themselves? They're yelling and screaming inside you know why they're yelling and screaming, right? Because this knowledge right here, everybody not talking about right here. Nobody never heard of that right there. You're telling me how are we within death? Setups. You eat death, don't you? The body, the biology, the body is technology. Can I ask you a question? While you're eating so-called protein from a chicken, the protein is of death. Do you understand that you have protein? Do you understand that you have protein, right? That's a live source. And do you have false protein that's dead? See how your conscious is? You're a destroyer to yourself. Look at your habits. Look at your mind. Stop projecting and talking to other people. Stop projecting. At this point in time, anyone can see like, yeah, consciously we are fucked. Consciously, this doesn't have nothing to do with the next person because on a simple fact, my habits are my own self-habits. I literally have been programmed to later eat information and data of death, install the information and data in order to be in a digital world that's of death. You think death is, I'm out of commission. I can't see anything. Setups. That's not death. Okay? Death is when you install information and data of death. Right, when it comes down towards your dead chickens. Your chickens are not clucking inside your fucking stomach, but it's the information and data of death. Not actually understanding that the chicken rots go within a decay state. Even when you open up the chicken, when you smell it, you already know, like, yeah, it don't smell that great. Why you think you frying it? Wait, pay attention to what you're doing. You're taking death and you're trying to make it into something. You're frying the death up. Then after that, you put hot sauce or ranch dressing upon it. So you dress death up for the technology of your mind. That's not what you're doing? Huh? Didn't I tell you we're around a bunch of dead motherfuckers, right? Now this consciousness is actually breaking down the conscious of death. No one ain't doing that just yet. Talking about we're consciously alive as NPCs. No, you're consciously dead as NPCs. And you need the information and data of death within this death RAM, within these death servers. Okay? What that one artist said, everything dead. Because when it come down to the technology and the biology of people, you don't install information and data of life. The technology of your consciousness has been reprogrammed where you don't even look at produce as in a life source of information and data. Anyone understand that when you have natural produce, the produce is not dead. Setups. Even when you pick it from a tree. It has a natural process. Meat doesn't. Chicken is not found inside of a safari. You can't find a chicken family within the natural resources of this land. But you can find many different creations, specifically the cats. They're all natural. Okay? Now, when it comes towards a chicken or a chicken coop, you can't find that in a safari with all the other animals. So where the fuck the chickens was created at? You're eating creations that are not natural by God. You're eating creations that are created by man. So that means that if man created a chicken, right? Setups, bro. Get in that work. You're eating chicken, a domesticated bird. The chickens can't fly though. Setups. You ever seen a chicken that can fly? How you eating a bird that got wings and the technology of the mind has never developed to actually use the wings? Setups. That means that the mind of a chicken is underdeveloped. It didn't gain the ability and the access to use its own wings. Any natural bird, we ain't talking about pigeons either. Any natural bird that was made by the Egyptians, they all have the ability to fly, like the eagle. Okay? Now, when you look at the eagle, what the eagle do? The eagle used all his abilities. The eagle is 10 times smarter than a chicken. Do you know that an eagle would literally swoop something off the earth, right? Take it all the way up in the air, right? And then let this shit go and let it drop on his fucking head to death and then get the plucking the shit? Chickens don't do that. They don't have that type of intelligence. Their minds are underdeveloped because they can't even sit here and use their abilities to fly. How you don't see that in front of you? Why would you eat a bird that can't even use its own abilities that's on the outside of it? The abilities, don't get me wrong, are in the inside. Right. Once you understand what's in the inside, now you can use you see what I'm saying? So it's like, how people don't even understand that. That lets you know that people are tucked away in sleep. You're eating a bird that's domesticated, right? But it doesn't even have the ability to fly. Setups. But it got wings. And you're eating chicken wings. I'm done. What's wrong with you people? This is what I say. Stop commenting to me, right? And really pay attention to your body, your mind, your heart, your spirit, your soul. My bad. Programs don't have that. Damn. Okay? Because anybody that understands what the technology of the mind, right? The mind has an ability to hold information and data. The body has an ability to hold information and data, right? What information and data is the technology of your body aligned with? Is it the information and data of death? That's the experience you're going through. Or is the body aligned with the information and data of the planet? Setups. Everything is around you is the information. To inform the technology of the mind, this is what you're going to go through. Notice that when some people pull their lifespans from information and data of death of a dead chicken, they start telling you, yeah, I feel alive, bro. I feel like I want to do some things. You know, things just feel so much better. Why is that? I started losing weight. No. You didn't start losing just weight. You start losing the information and data that was pulling your body and your mind down. If you eat something that rots, it will rot the technology of the mind. The chicken is already in a decay state. The minute you, ooh, that don't even smell good, but you're going to go dress it up real good, ain't you? Huh? You ain't got to do that with produce. You know that? You notice with produce, you don't have to dress it up to make it. It's already good. Huh? Now, let's pay attention to the data points so you can understand how things become unaligned, okay? The technology of your body, right? The technology of your body, right, can hold information and data, process information and data too, okay? Now, what happens is this. Let's just say you have a vitamin code system and a mineral code system. I would ask you, did you install the infiltration system? I didn't install the infiltration system. What are you talking about? What am I talking about? Anyways, come here, buddy. Let me talk to you. Right here, you have a vitamin code system and a mineral code system, right? There are many systems in the body. I'm just talking about what's popular pick. Understand? Now, you have a vitamin code system and a mineral code system. Can I ask you a question? The information and data that appears on the outside of you, right? Does it align with the information and data that is within you, your vitamin code system, mineral code system? Pay attention to the tech. You would simply say, it does. Stop. Is the information and data that you're about to eat or install, right? Does it come from an alive source or a dead source? Watch. Is your body alive? Yes. Then everything that you should eat is alive. Thank you. If you're dead, then you're going to eat dead. How are you saying, I'm alive and walking through the world and such and such, and blah, this, that, and the third, take you through there, right? But everything that you eat is dead. You're telling your conscience, I'm alive. But everything that you eat is of death. You're not alive, you're dead. Now, get back into it. When it comes to your vitamin code system and mineral code system, right? Understand that you can eat an alive source of vitamins and minerals, okay? Now, let me show you how you become an infiltrator towards your own technology, your body. You're already doing this shit anyway, okay? Let me show you. When you step outside of natural sources of vitamins and minerals that are alive sources, not dead sources, right? You're now becoming an infiltrator towards your technology of your body. What you are doing is this, setups. What you are doing is this. You are taking information and data within the hardware of your vessel, right? The things that you eat is the software, okay? When you allow the software to be within the hardware, right? Guess what happens? The software gets access towards the hardware of your vessel, okay? Let's just simply say you say, I'm eating food. Let's dissect what you are really eating. Watch this. What are you eating? I'm eating food. Watch this. Turn the back of the label around. What does it say right here? It says artificial ingredient. Watch this right here. Slow down. Remember, I told you everything's technology, right? Okay. Can AI be installed inside the hardware of the vessel? Yes. So, What is this? Artificial ingredients. Slow down. Artificial, A. Ingredient, I. So AI is not in front of us, right? Even though we already have the software to upload it inside the hardware of the vessel. Setups. You're eating what? Just an artificial ingredient? No, you're eating AI in order to be consumed by AI. Thank you. Let's pay attention to the tech. What is this? This is a modified starch. Setups. Can I ask you a question? Does the modified starch modify the technology of the mind and bend it to a new will? Setups. Give them some white sheets, make them warm, give them some warm milk, tuck them the fuck back in. They'll be okay. Now, if you notice in the comment section, a lot of people depend upon AI. They're not realizing that they're exposing themselves as AI. Why is it that Why is it that when it comes to the technology of the minds, why you don't have access to use it? Slow, watch. Why do you don't have access to use it? How is it that you use the technology of your mind to use another machine, right? But you can't use the technology of your own conscious to process the same information and data as that machine. Let me show you something real quick so you can understand something. The difference between a lot of individuals within this world, they say that we all are connected. I wouldn't disagree. But pay attention to this. If you see that someone always searches for information and data based upon an electronic device, what you have to understand is that the technology of the mind is not accessing information and data with an inner self. So it has no inner self. Notice that the mind always searches for information and data on the outside. How is that a real source of information and data? Let me show you. If everybody else has a conscious, right, and they can write things, make things, all these are projections from everyone else's conscious. You are a follower towards their conscious. How do you have your original conscious if everybody's projecting everything into your consciousness and you can't find no information and data for yourself? So you have to search everything through an electronic device? That's not true, bro. That's not true. Let me show you why. If you was faced with a problem, right, and I snatched all your electronic devices away from you, guess what's going to happen? You're going to start using the technology of your mind. Setups. So we live literally in an illusion. We live in an illusion where we like, no, we need technology. Stop. Do you see what you're doing to yourself? You're allowing the technology of the phone to overpower your consciousness. You think it's normal in normal lies to sit here and let a digital device tell you everything? Listen to me. Digital devices and books can share information and data with you, but it doesn't mean that's the only way you look for information and data. The algorithm of your mind is obsoleted because on the simple fact, you don't search for a natural resource within yourself. Don't get me wrong. I am not saying that yourself will not lead you into information and data to have a clarity understanding. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is if you never go within self, ask questions to receive clarity, and the first thing you do is you hop on your phone, you're not working on your inner self no more. You're working on nothing more than technology that's on the outside of you and using outsourced information and data. That is nothing more than projections from other consciousnesses. Do you understand that? You people got to take it a little bit easy in there, okay? Y'all gonna, no. Y'all gonna be all right. Some of y'all got on this magic school bus and was like, damn, I didn't think it would go like this. All right. Okay? Pay attention to what you're doing to the technology of your minds. Okay? Your minds are like crown jewels. This is the reason why a lot of machines want to control them, because they understand, like, if I got access to your mind, I got access to pretty much, how do you look at it, like heaven. Even though you don't look at heaven as like that, right? You don't look at your crown as heaven, do you? even though the machines know. Okay? Okay. So, let's get in here a little bit more. It's going to get a little more deeper. God damn. Now, right? Stimulation. Say that one more time. Stimulation. If I stimulate the technology of your mind, that means that I have access to your mind setups. Okay? If I has access to your mind, then I have access towards your what? Your reality. Okay? Okay. If I have access to your reality, then I have access to project anything to your reality. If I have access to your reality, then you have no control over your reality. I'm pretty much in your reality, projecting things into it, and just watching how you respond. Let me see some of your comments real quick. I got you. NPCs, I'm just showing you something real quick. All right, give me a second. Someone said, we eat sun rays that form electrons in forms of materials or matter. I would say eating is really more installing. So that means that the technology of the body, right, when it's within sunlight, right, the information and data that's being projected from the solar consciousness of the sun, right, is projecting light codes. The technology of your body is receiving those light codes and is installing the information and data of that light code. Auras, souls, they need to charge up, of course. Let's get into something else real quick. Pay attention to this. Watch this. Why don't you tell us to filter our water instead of blaming the pilgrim for being poisoned? Okay. Let's dissect that. I don't think they understand what you're talking about. Let me ask you a question. So are you saying this, right? Because this makes accurate sense. You're saying that it's okay to have poison water if you have a filter on it? Is that what you're saying? So slow down real quick. So we can get poisoned water, right? And long as we have a filter, we're good. Stop. This is why I understand why things that are false remain the way it is. Watch this. Pay attention. You're an American consumer, right? You have a house, right? You're smart. You're smarter than the person that's asking this question. Pay attention to this. Can I ask you a question? Wouldn't it be more affordable, right, if we just had a system, right, that naturally give us information and data of water? The water is already purified already, right? If the water's already purified already, what's the point in me buying a filter from month to month and losing money month to month? When the original system already purifies the water. Why? Yo, people be making me laugh, bro. Why not go to the original source, clear it the fuck up, right? Once you clear it up, guess what happens? Your technology of your water is pure. There's no need for you to put a filter on there. So people, look. People are okay with the system that gives them fluoride water, right? We don't need to change that. We're just gonna put filters on our caps or our sinks, and we're good. So slow down. You're telling me the technology of the minds have fell down in a lower dimension that you pay for a water bill for fluoride water? The technology of the conscious have fell down completely. They even buy grapes with no seeds in them. Full price, but not a full grape. Didn't I tell you human beings are asleep? Even if you put the disrespect in front of them, they still love it. Gotta be sleeping that motherfucker. You gotta go back to the original source or the system, right, that encapsulate this water, right, and you need to clear that up first, okay? Because anyone understand that if you step outside the system's water system, there are natural sources that you can Google and you can get water for free. Oceanside, riverside, whatever you want. And the water actually already has minerals already in it. But we're so used to doing what? Bottle cap water, right? Water that doesn't even have substance within it. It doesn't have any vitamins and minerals. The water is dead until you put information and data of life within it, okay? Light water, right? Depending on what water source you are coming from or what water source you intake, the information and data can be in a live source and it can also be a dead source. If it has no information and data, the transfer to the technology of the body, understand that you can put something within water, right? And it can be transferred. Let me show you in dimensions so you can understand. You can put, remember what they used to do back in the old days? What they used to do? They used to put a bottle, right? And they use the bottle. They put a letter in there, right? And the ocean transfers the letter all the way to another country, and they get to read it and everything, right? That is the same system of your body. What's on the outside of you is a reflection of the inside of you. You didn't realize that, did you? It's a body of water that transfer information and data. Let me show you from your coffee cup. That's another dimension. You play with that dimension all the time. You need water, don't you? Okay, once you put everything within the water, it is formed into one thing. You use 5 items. Coffee cup, I'm counting that too. Okay, you use the coffee cup, you use the creamer, you use the coffee bean, you use water, and you use sugar. That is 5 items. But then once you simplify them within a cup, they're simplified to one thing and one thing only. That's it. You just simplified 5 to 1. Did you understand that when you was doing that with the coffee cup? No, because I'm stuck in 3rd dimensional programming, and I never knew I was actually doing that. I know, right? I know. We are ignorant to ourselves. We're not ignorant towards anyone else. We are solely ignorant towards ourselves. We don't even understand that literally I grabbed 5 different things, simplified it to one thing. What else in my life have I been doing? Pay attention to your body. You have a foot, don't you? Yes. You have a sock, don't you? Yes. And then you have a shoe, don't you? Right. You called them 3 different things, but when you put all of them together, they form into one thing. You didn't notice that upon your body? Shit is brazy tech out here in the world, isn't it? The magic tricks that people do with their own consciousness be funny as a motherfucker. You didn't see that with your own body? Let me show you what else you don't know about your body. You see your phone? You see the bars on your phone? Do those bars look anything identical to your body? No. Look at your feet again. God damn, I tried to give you. Look at your feet. Look at your feet. Don't look at your big toe. Look at the toe that's next to it. Now look all the way down and then look at the bars again. A reflection of you again. You didn't even know that, did you? You didn't know that. You didn't know that. Setups. You thought I was done, right? That's a reflection of your feet. They're telling you something. They're telling you that pretty much your feet can reach, some people would say a reception. You can reach information and data. Watch this. You have a plant, don't you? Yes. Plants come with what? Roots. When plants implant their roots inside the consciousness of Earth, what are they receiving? Information and data from Earth based on what they request. Thank you. Can I ask you a question? From the third dimension, you're doing grounding, aren't you? One word. Can I ask you a question? Why is it that you're implanting your so-called feet's roots, right, inside of the soil? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? You're doing that because you're connecting with the earth in order to have a connection with the consciousness of the planet of information and data. This is a digital world that you're in. And you can access information and data depending on how you know how to access it. So y'all gonna get these upgrades today. You're not just doing one word. You're implanting your body, right, within the planets and accessing the planets of information and data based on what you want to request. Did you know you were doing that? No, because I'm in the third dimension. I thought I was doing this. Stop thinking. Pay attention to the technology of your body and get the know. Okay? You're not doing one word. Bypass the one word with your mind and pay attention to the functionality of your body and your mind. And pay attention to the functionality of the planets. And do you understand the alignment? Bypass the word of what you just said. Setups. Okay? You're going to be okay today. You need to get this message today because you thought you was just doing one word out there, right? No. You're doing more than that. Okay? Merge worlds together. Now, you have an umbilical cord, don't you? Can I ask you a question? Is an umbilical cord, right? Is it anything different between an umbilical cord with the baby and the mommy, right? And roots, setups. I'm showing you something, that things are not different from each other. I'm creating separation in your mind by calling them two different things. That's the way your mind moves. Look at your mind. I said roots and umbilical cord. You're accepting separation. You didn't notice that, did you? Those are two different words. That's separation. Once I bypass the words, right, and I pay attention to how they function, it brings my consciousness into functionality, okay? Now watch. You have an umbilical cord. Why is it called an umbilical cord? Why is that? Because the umbilical cord from mother, right? Now from the baby, right? It has connections, okay? Now what happens is the information and data that mother is eating is being transferred through the umbilical cord now to baby. Thank you. When it comes to the technology of your so-called feet that are roots, they also connect just like an umbilical cord, and it transfers information and data to you. Did you understand that? Did you see that in front of you, even though it's happening in front of you? You're too stuck in the lower dimension, the third dimension, right? Where you see word and meaning. Word and meaning mean nothing. If I can show you, you're going to stay stuck on the screen reading shit. Fuck all that. Let's go to the screen where it's going to show us. Okay? Now, when you have an umbilical cord, I'm going to get to your comments in just a second, okay? You're going to be okay. Anyways, right? When you have an umbilical cord, the reason why they call it an umbilical cord is because What happens is the abilities of what the mother know and the abilities of what the father has transferred through soul. Right, you get access to all of that. We could talk about a downside of that, right? But I'm gonna leave it where it's just at, okay? Let me see some of these comments real quick. Come here real quick. Davis, I'm gonna show you something with yourself. Until he, I guess, can speak the native tongue, all words are obsoleted. I'm gonna show you something that you may not understand with yourself. I need you to fight this on. I need you to fight this against yourself, though. Can I ask you a question? We all have logic, right? Okay. You ever heard of being psychological? Right. You ever heard of being technological? So you know nothing about the tongue. See? You may not even understand that is actually a native tongue. Being technological, where you see the world as technology and you understand the functionality of the technological mind. You don't understand that, do you yet? I know that's not a native tongue though, right? I know. Have a nice one. We got so many native tongues, right? That subconsciously, once you tap into your subconscious, you will understand. Understand that the left side of the mind, especially if it's decalcified with the pineal gland, what happens is you have the reason why your pineal gland is decalcified, not saying yours is. This is general speaking, okay? Thank you. What happens is you can never access tongues, right? Because majority of tongues and languages are already within you already, okay? What happens is this. The subconscious already know about the tongue. Okay, the pineal gland is decalcified like a firewall, okay? To block the right side of the conscious, right, in order to penetrate the left side of the mind. The left side of the mind is like a kid, fresh new sheet of paper, don't know nothing, okay? It's like AI, they don't know nothing. Until it connects with the right side of the brain. This is why they tell you you have a mind and you have a brain, okay? The technology of the mind things based on requestments. I want to see such and such. You know why you're doing that? Because the left side of the mind hasn't experienced that. But the right side of the brain can bring things to light within the left side of the mind. Thank you. It's called copyrights. But 95% of y'all, right, don't have access to that. And generation to generation, the bloodline to bloodline, this program has been repeated over and over and over and over. This is why when you have consciousness that are connected, that most people say you are connected from your left, you're connected from your right to your left, which means that you have reached enlightenment, which means that your third eye is open. Can I ask you a question? How many of those people are saved upon the world? How many of those people are liked? How many of those people are shared? How many of those people are remembered? Understand that when it came towards Christ conscious, he was one of those too. With that being said, I'm about to sit here and look at some of this stuff real here. Let me see their comments right here. Let me see. Now, this is another thing right here. Someone is trying to say that they have not been qualified to go to school, pay off their tuition in order to diagnose someone, right? So based on their experience and my knowledge, they look at it as you're on DMT. I have not experienced with DMT yet. That's being truthful. Stop projecting and get to know him. I have not experienced with DMT. You don't know how I can access information. You don't know me. You will never get to know me. The technology of your consciousness will never get to know me based on the abilities of what you just showed me. You did not ask questions to get to know. You project. So that has to be AI. Souls have an ability to request information and data, listen to the information and data, and then be brought into the knowing. NPCs view something, use thoughts and then project thoughts, thinking. Okay? We operate totally differently. DMT is not something I have experienced now. Maybe later in the line. I don't know how things are going to go. But I haven't experienced with DMT yet. I guess based on intelligence they're exposing to you, these are the informational sources that are natural in order to connect the technology of left mind and right brain. That's not the only source. Keep on searching, children. Where is it? Let me get into here real quick. Someone said, bro, you got an interesting face. This is not the first time you've seen me. Go to your subconscious self and you understand what I'm talking about. Thank you. Go to your subconscious self and you understand exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? Whenever you see someone and you feel like they look familiar, go to your subconscious self. Your mind thinks you're brand new in this experience. I understand. Go to your subconscious self. Okay? And maybe you'll get a better image of me. Yeah. They said there would be a second coming of Christ, right? Shit, there's gotta be a second coming to everybody in this motherfucker. Goddamn. Okay. So, maybe you have seen me before. I don't know. You see this stuff? Anytime with consciousness, I be laughing at this shit. Look at what someone said. I told you. Get back to the stimulation. You know what it is, right? Remember I had told you certain powerful consciousness had unplugged to it? They were using the energy of those consciousness and distributing that energy towards the lower consciousness that's in the stimulation. They're begging him. Religion begging him too. Very high powerful mind though. This shit is so unpowerful, right? I say it to them all the time. I even troll their ass. I say it to them, my shit's so powerful I can empower a whole fucking world. That's why you want me on your team, Christians? That's why you want me on your team, stimulation? That's why you want me on your team, CPU, NPCs? Because without the natural source of soul, you all die. Thank you. They've been fighting themselves for 6 years. No, I'm telling you. You know the system, right? I'm going to break it down to you so you can understand. Let's say you are going with your natural self, right? Slow, watch. And let's just say you've been so-called experiencing bad things. Slow, watch. Is these bad things that you are experiencing, right? Do it come down to your self-experiences or does it come down to the experiences of others? What I started noticing in my lifespan is that every day is good when it's just myself. The minute I include people, NPCs, CPUs, go completely down. Told you. They'll let you know something. You must be aligned with yourself in the inside. Where you're doing experiences with yourself, shit go perfect. The minute I include people, shit go downhill. Told you. Now, let's pay attention here. Watch. I was doing a study to see if humanality is a consciousness to help. Is it a helper? And a lot of people are not understanding why a lot of different industries are closing down and strictly going to AI. Hear me out. This makes total technological sense. Okay? I was on the phone. And when I was on the phone, I was speaking to a representative from Apple Eye Care, right? As I'm speaking to them, I can understand and hear that they are reading a script, which means they don't have a script of their inner self to communicate with me. Thank you. The script that you're reading comes from the mind of AI, not the mind of another person. Setups. You're reading like AI. You're talking like AI. If the mind has been customized to be AI, what's the point, right, of speaking to a person that's acting like the AI, being the AI? What's the point in doing that? Because this is the thing about Apple Eye Care that I would never purchase ever again. Apple Eye Care is one of the worst things to purchase right now. And the reason why I say that is when it comes to Apple Eye Care, they don't have any type of system made for someone that just with yourself. They don't operate with other people. Apple Eye Care is set up where, oh no, this is what they assume. They assume, oh no, you got a family. It's systematic. Now you got a family. You should better contact somebody and use their phone in order to access your Apple device. That's not what life is about. That's not true. You have people upon this earth that literally they just experience with themselves. That's it. NPCs and CPUs can't understand that because you're stuck in the system. Thank you. So I called them, and the only thing I wanted was the IME number off my device because my cell phone got stolen by a police officer. Okay? And I need the IME device. I need the IME number to report, right, it on to the police report. That way they can tie the IME number to the cell phone. They can know that it's a real device. Now, once I get that information and data, I can give that towards Apple Eye Care. Guess what I can do? My insurance claim. Thank you. Okay? Now, what Apple has set up is, oh, you can send it to another phone. Like, I didn't have another phone at that point in time. You don't have another Apple device? I just have this one device. That's it. And even if I have another device, I had to have another cell phone line already cut on, which I got to get a whole nother line. Because the way y'all set it up is in order to get in, you have to verify this verification code. And how I'm looking at the person on the phone, I'm like, literally, Apple, I'm just be honest with y'all might as well just do away with all your people when it comes to that department and just go strictly AI. I'm going to tell you why. The people, you would think a consciousness, right, can bypass the fucking AI and get what you need. That's how I'm looking at people. I'm like, no, you're there just in case if the AI mess up, right? You can bypass it and still help the customer. No. The AI is in full control of them. Bro, I even see people do this, and this is why I don't go with companies that have people in it anymore. I don't. I'm gonna show you why I don't. You're telling me the person follows the whole script of AI. Yeah, then what's the point in paying someone if AI is already in the script of their minds? What's the point in doing that? All these different call centers, just being honest with you, there's a company called Starlink, right? You can't talk to no representative. Everything is dealt with AI. Everything. There's no need. Let me show you something. Once people had showed souls that literally like, yeah, we not used to anything to help. You got to do everything with yourself. That's it. Once souls seen that, they started to understand that shit, If you ask me, I'm gonna just go ahead and put everything with the AI right here, because at least with the AI, I can understand like just the AI, just how I operate. How I'm looking at humans, I'm looking at humans like, no, you're there to monitor the AI, to bypass it and recorrect it. No, no, no. Humanoid programs are literally following the AI and the fucking script of AI. So what's the point in hiring all these people if they're just going to follow the script of AI? What's the point in doing that? What's the point in doing that? Because Starlink, there is no employees. The only employee is AI. You go on the app, you know what Starlink is, right? It's called satellite internet. You might want to get yourself that. Can I ask you a question? The internet device that you have within your home, in the living room, right next to you, has a wire. Do you know what system is connected to? Setups. At least with my Starlink device, I know what satellite is connected to. You don't know what that wire is connected to. You don't. What you're going to do, trace the wire all the way to the back of your home, and now trace that wire from the back of your home and see where it goes at. Inside the fucking ground. And then when it goes inside the fucking ground, what is that cord connected to? You can't see the next device that it's connected to. You trust that? So you trust that you got a wire inside your home, right? Connected to all your electronic devices, but you can't see where the wire's connected to, and you trust that? Yeah, a lot of people are not consciously aware right now. You trust that. I trust the satellite. At least I can say, I can understand like this is satellite. Yeah, this is natural. It's up in there. I know where it's coming from. You got a whole wired device that's wired. Understand that people used to say back in the day, you got a wire on you? Because if you got a wire on you, that means that, guess what? The people that's in the background that's connected to that wire know everything that you're doing. Thank you. You don't see that in front of you? They kind of normalized that, didn't they? Yeah. Anyways, I have Starlink. Okay? Starlink to me, I like it. Hell yeah. You know why? Because I can take my internet anywhere. Yes, I could be traveling. As long as I have a power source inside my car, guess what? I got to just plug it up. Guess what? I got internet. Do your internet travel with you? No, it cannot. My internet could travel with me. If the internet grids went completely out, guess what? I still get internet because I got satellite setups. And bro, I'm gonna tell you this. These internet grids, one day, they're gonna get shut down. The infrastructure of America is not prepared for the sun. Okay? A lot of people are gonna be like, yo, I don't have internet. And then other people are gonna be like, yeah, I still got internet. Like, how you got internet? Because I got Starlink. This is the internet for the future. The internet that you have is for the past. Do you notice that Spectrum is trying to revamp themselves with fiber optic internet? Why is it that one of the biggest companies or individuals that you would say, Elon Musk, why didn't he not go the same way that everybody else is going? Why did he go with satellite internet? These are all major players in the game. Why did he go with satellite? Why he just didn't go with the regular internet device, the one that's in the wire? Why did he do that? I'm pretty sure he can afford everything else, just like every other company. But why did he make that the conscious decision? Because when you start paying attention to certain people, you start understanding they prefer to set up everything that's within the future world, not everything that's within the past world. While you got that fiber optic internet, it's going so fast and everything. Hopefully you enjoying it. That shit crashed to the sun. Don't be sitting there like, I can't play my video games, can't watch anything. Nope. This is the world that we're going to. The reason why we're going to that is because short. We have machines that are around us. I'm not just talking about the machines of the people. Okay. Some people talk about the machine of CERN. Some people talk about machines that are towers. Okay. And what you have to understand is that all of these machines have one common goal. Do you know what that is? You ever heard the story of the Tower of Babel? The Tower of Babel, the Tower of Babylon, and the 5G towers that you live around today. Both of these stories have correlations with each other. Someone found out that people build 5G towers in order to access the technology of the minds. This is why this world is being purged and destroyed. You can't build it. Who told you can build a digital device in order to access someone else's mind? That's sick within itself. You want to know what someone else is doing? If you are actually real and a real being, you're not coming here to know about other people's lives. You only came here to understand your life. That lets you know these individuals are not natural. They don't have a life for themselves, and they want to monitor the life of everyone else. That's not life.